This half, please welcome to the stage the hilarious Barry Lysaght.
Different ways is sufficiently nebulous that I can just fucking bomb up here, I suppose. Everyone else has started off by telling you where they live. I live with my parents. Anyone else? I got a little cheer there. That joke kills in Dublin. Everyone's like, yeah, my parents are great. It's great living with my parents in my late 20s. You kind of get to build a new and mature relationship with them in the autumn of their years. And I get to have the quietest sex of my life. And I'm eternally grateful that they return the favor. You're nodding again. Yeah, you get it. Do you have kids that live at home? Yeah, of course. Surely. What's that? What's that face? I'm a quiet little guy. Excuse me. It's brilliant because I bring a girl home after a night out and she's like, oh my God, I love what you've done with the place. I'm like, thank you. Mummy nags me constantly. And it really affects my dirty talk as well. Because we're in the heat of the moment. I'm like, yeah, just keep it down a little bit there. It's probably for the best that you don't come. So my dating life is going great. I'm worried I'm becoming more boring because I live at home. So I'm trying to get really into conspiracy theories. One of them I'm really into, but it's hard. You kind of want to call someone out for being a lizard person. But very often it just transpires they have really bad dandruff. And then obviously I tried to get involved with flat earth people, but they said I wasn't edgy enough. Too well-rounded. But yeah, another conspiracy I actually genuinely believe at the moment is Jesus. It's incredible because he was really, he was into a lot of things. He was really into people eating fish on Fridays. And all of his mates were fishermen. What's that about? It's oh yeah, go buy Paul's fish. I reckon that's pretty, God likes that. But yeah, at the end of the day, Jesus was a Nepo baby. We only know about him today because his dad was big in the industry. Both in terms of religion and carpentry. He got the two bites of the cherry on that. But how you know Jesus was a Nepo baby is because he hired a PR team. And their names were Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And their job was just to put spin on whatever our boy did. He blacks out at a wedding. Miracle. Water into wine. He flips over a load of tables in the temple. It's I guess moneylenders are evil now. But he would be a pretty tough client for them as well, because he'd march into the office demanding to put outrageous things in it. He'd just bam, tell them my ma was a virgin. And they'd all just be there yeah, fuck it. It's not anyone's ever going to read this thing. So I'll chalk it up. Okay, we got the Virgin Mary and the Virgin Joseph. No. My dad fucks. Let's be clear. My dad fucks. It's never the Virgin Joseph. But yeah, the cost of living crisis... The cost of living crisis has gotten pretty bad recently. A friend of mine recently got asked to sell pictures of her feet online. That could never happen to me. I think the only way I could make money out of pictures of my feet is in sort of a ransom situation. It's a very different context. It's you send me €500 or you're getting a toe. But people have also, back in the olden days, they used to sell their blood. People would donate blood for money. I do that for free. I'm a great guy. Not just because of that, though. It's just, I think that's the most likely way I'm going to get my fluids into someone else. I'm worried about that joke, because I do think someday someone is going to need a transfusion, and they're like, I don't want that freak's blood. Like, it could be that weird guy I saw that one time. So hopefully all of you survive well into your old age. Anyone else miss the pandemic a little bit? Yeah. What did you miss about it? First lockdown, beautiful. Again, catching up on all those series. It's beautiful. I loved the fact that I got paid €350 a week. I'm an artist. That's more money than I make in a year. But I also really liked in COVID that you could just hate other people's relationships. Like, someone would be like, oh yeah, I'm going over to my girlfriend's house later on. And you could be like, what the hell is your problem? Are you trying to kill my granny? Now I can only say that when my sister brings her girlfriend over, but we'll leave that one there. Do we have anyone visiting from abroad? No. Went to one of my favorite European countries recently. I went to the Netherlands. And I never realized that I actually speak Dutch. Because, again, you get onto the train and there's the English announcement saying, oh, this is the train for Amsterdam North. And I was like, okay, brilliant. And then the much louder announcement is, this is a train for Amsterdam North. I never knew I was bilingual. It's incredible. But I actually saw the Tourism Board of Amsterdam released an ad campaign recently where they asked young British men not to come to Amsterdam on stag do's. Number one, Kilkenny might want to do the same. And number two, what this tells me is that young Irish men have gotten very good at doing English accents when they're being arrested. I do think that is a thing, though. Like, when you're putting on the accent of another country, you're like as posh as you would be in that country. So if, like, I'm getting arrested, they'd be like, unhand me, sir, how dare you? I'm from a place in Dublin that's called Castleknock. Ooh, fuck off. Bloody marble city out here. Yeah, gotta give over. But yes, Castleknock is a lovely leafy green suburb. I grew up riding horses around fields. It's next to another part of Dublin called Blanchardstown, or Blanche. Ooh. Blanche, very scary, a little bit rougher. They grew up riding horses around housing estates. So people from Castleknock tend to sound like me, relatively posh voices, relatively. And people from Blanche sound a bit like this, a bit harder. Yeah, there'd be a little bit of edge to the voice. You might be a little bit more nervous around them. And like, if I'm trying to ever intimidate someone or anything like that, I'll just pretend I'm from Blanche. So I'll put on that little voice and be like, yeah, man, I'm from Blanche. And I'm really worried that, like, someday I'm going to get cancelled for that. Like, someone's going to come up to me and like, man, you can't be doing Blanche face. I love that one. But yeah, everyone drinking tonight? Yeah, woo. Anyone drinking non-alcoholic beer? Yeah, okay. Well, non-alcoholic beer, it's like the drink of the person whose favorite part of sex is putting on a condom. Like, but like, no, there are reasons. So you have to drive. I drove here tonight as well. So I'm the one comedian who had a car tonight. That's why I got booked. Woo! But like, I get it. There's so many reasons why. Again, you want to fit in with everyone else as well. Like, you want to have a drink in your hand. You don't want to be the one person who is. That's my alarm going off. I'm out of time. You don't have be the one person who like doesn't have a drink in their hand. Maybe you might have work in the morning. You don't want to be too tired. My dealer and I are coming up with a new idea. which is like drug-free cocaine. Because like I can't count the amount of times I've been like awkwardly standing in a bathroom of a nightclub with my mates like, no, not for me, thanks guys. I've got to go to bed this weekend. But now with my patented invention of like drug-free cocaine, you can just be there like, yeah, no lads, like I'm bringing the kids to swimming in the morning. It's brilliant. That did absolutely nothing to me. Like, the only difficulty I've run into is that like we've run into difficulty with the patent office because we want to call it Coke Zero, but we'll figure it out later on. Anyway, guys, that's towards the end of my time, but I'll leave you with what I very often say to my sexual partners. Sometimes endings are disappointing.